Joanna, how are you?
How are you, my friend? It's so amazing to see you one more time. How is life on your end of
Life
the
is
rainbow?
unbelievable. It,
Awesome. Love
it.
that. Love that.
Listen, I was thinking about you the other day because I saw an interview that um, that somebody asked. Well, actually, Grant Cardone asked someone, how much money you want to make, and the person said, I want to make $500,000, and it says, okay, good. How have you done the math on that? And she's a realtor, and she said, well, the average commission or the average price of a home is $450,000. She said, wait. I didn't ask you what you did for a living. I asked you how much money you want to make and how do you know how to get there. And that stuck with me because he said, it doesn't matter at this point. It's early in the game when you're setting your target. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters that you have a target that is big enough, that is exciting enough, and it has the possibility of changing your life and the life of those around you.
Hmm.
And then you do the math, and then you figure out how to get there.
Correct.
And she was hung up on the how. She's like, well, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how much I get paid on commissions. And he's like, if you want to make $500,000, you got to figure out first if you're in the right vehicle. So let me just go back. The reason that he said that is because he said a lot of people are stuck in the wrong job. A lot of people are stuck in the wrong industry or business model simply because they were there and they didn't pick the target first. They try to pick the target after they pick the vehicle. It's like I want to go from Orlando to New York City, and instead of picking a flight, I picked a kayak. I'll get there, hopefully, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a grind. So anyway, that's kind of that's the premise why what that triggers. And I think I need to talk to Joanna about this because and get her perspective because we're all guilty of having done this before. We get so honed in on the how and the mechanics of it, and that's what we get into paralysis analysis, right? We just don't take action because we're so confused. The simpler the process from idea to monetization, the quicker you get successful. The quicker you reach success, whatever you define success to be. In this case, this lady's target was $500,000. So anyway, when she got into all this, I made this commission, and then the average house price is X. It's like, wait. I thought you wanted to make $500,000. I didn't ask you what you did for a living. And she says, well, yeah, that's what I want. And he says, okay, have you done the math? No. Okay, what's $500,000 a year? $500,000 a year divided by 365 days in a year. That's $1,369 per day. Oh, let's divide that by 24 hours in a day. That means you got to figure out a way to make $57 an hour. And since you got to sleep, what's that?
24 hours.
24 hours. Every hour of your life, you need to make $57 if you really want to make that $500,000 a year. So, and he said, well, you got to sleep. So you have to have some online component, some digital component to help you do that. Does that make sense? It's just like, oh, okay, yeah. And he says, you're probably disappointed that I didn't tell you how many houses you need to sell because that's not the point right now. You're getting hung up on that. The point is, if you're really committed to your target, $500,000 a year, you need to figure out a way. The math tells you you're going to make $57 an hour. That does not change. That's the math. And then you have to figure out, am I in the right vehicle to make that happen? So anyway, that's kind of a long prologue, I guess, to get to the point. But does that make sense to you, Joanna? I mean, have we had similar conversations before about this?
Yes, and it makes sense, but at the same time, it also invites me to rethink and reconsider a lot of things, because we like the fact of making money. Now, how we do that and execute in the smarter and not necessarily harder the way you work, but the smarter way. That's also the component, and the part that left me thinking, it's even while you are sleeping, we have been indoctrinated that work hard so you can get all those hours in, but at the end of the day, even in the hours that you're going to be able to execute, sometimes it's not enough. Where we need to start thinking of what other revenue or stream of income or revenue we have, which connects to another conversation we have about the three
Yeah.
of income. But it's something that it's definitely a numbers game. I can totally resonate with this because at the beginning of my journey, I was thinking more of the execution part of it, the how I'm going to do it, which of course the tools that I am good at. But I was just thinking with that mindset, the 9 to 5, the hours and the commissions and the revenues of that specific job that I was performing. But now you're actually inviting me to think what are other ways that I can explore that those coins can keep coming into my bank account even while I am sleeping. So I would like for you to tell me, what ideas do you have?
Well, and that's kind of the mental exercise that I went through as well, because
Yeah.
remember, we're trained technically. We go to, if we go to school, we're trained on the technicalities of earning, right? On becoming proficient at a thing or a few things that would allow us to get a job doing those things and generate income. That's the kind of the journey that we take. We're not trained to think what is the target first and then figure out the skills later. So that's why there's so many people that are stuck where they are. They have a skill. They win with passion. In some cases, my passion is helping save the seals around the world. Okay, cool. But that doesn't pay you. That doesn't help you support your family. So is that more? And then you complain that you don't have enough money to put your kids in the best schools. Well, the vehicle that you're in, saving the seals in this example, doesn't allow for that to happen. It's not the right vehicle for your destination. I'm not saying saving the seals is not important. I'm saying that for this example, if you want to go and put your kids, you have 3 kids, you want to put them in the best schools, that's not going to get you there in this example. So it's important to understand that the target is first. You set the big goal. The target needs to be big enough. It needs to be exciting enough. And need to offer the possibility to change your life and change the life of those that you care about, people around you. So that's number one. You set the right goal. Then you define the target. The goal is here. The targets are a series of steps along the way to your goal.
Correct.
And you set the target so you don't quit, right? Or you don't stay quit, because we all quit, right? Whenever you hit the snooze button, you quit. Yeah. You say you were going to get up before the sun came up. You quit on that. Don't stay quit. Sometimes you celebrate too much because you had that one client and you took 3 days off. You quit on your goal. Yeah. So everyone quits. The goal needs to be big enough so you don't stay quit, right? So you get up every morning and you're so excited to figure out a way to hit your target. So now that you have the target, you have it locked in, you're excited about it. It's what motivates you. It's your purpose. You lock it in, then you got to do the math. So in our case, we've been talking about building $1 million business in 90 days. So what does that look like? What is $1 million? Do the simple math, man. You have to figure out, okay, if it's $1 million business, by the way, we're defining $1 million business as one that has top line revenue of $1 million or more. Okay, so $1 million a year divided by 12 months, that business is to generate $83,333 a month. That's $1 million business. So how do you do that? So that's the math. Do you have $1,000? $1,000. Let's not go there. Let's figure out in the who.
Yeah.
We can get 83,000. One person a month to give us $83,300. That's one way. Or it could be, let's get 10 people to give us $8,300 a month. Get 100 people to give us $83. Then you figure out, what is it? Are you in the right vehicle to make that happen? So you figure out the math, you see that it's possible, and then you identify the right vehicle. You get the right vehicle, you do the math, get the right vehicle, get the skills that you see the gaps in skills, right? Maybe you need to pick up some new skills.
Yes.
Build a team around you, because no one did anything good or big. I shouldn't say good. No one did anything big and sustainable for a long period of time by themselves. And then get around the right people who have similar way of looking at things. They are hungry. They want to do more. They're encouraging to you. They're collaborative. So those are the things that we need to think about. And that's why we pick $1 million. That's what we set to do, $1 million business in 90 days, because it's exciting. It's big enough to possibly change your life and those of the people around you. We've done the math. We know that it's possible. And then we bring it down to the granular. These are the things that we need to do on a daily basis to make that happen. And trust the math. Trust the math. And trust it to the point that it doesn't matter how you feel. Because feelings is not going to get you there. Trust the math, and it will get you there. So I'm going around in circles a little bit here today, because I don't know, it just hit me from different directions watching that interview. And I wanted to bring it to you so you could chew on it a little bit and tell me your version of hitting the right, setting the right goals, doing the math, committing to the math, and doing the daily executional things that need to happen, and trusting that math to get you to the right target, your target.
That's the tricky part, trusting the process, trusting the math, and not give up on the way there. Because of course, at the beginning, it's not going to happen. I'll tell you that from the get-go. But it's not going to happen unless you keep putting in the work. This is just a part of not quitting with the snooze button, like you just say, or not quitting when you don't see in the first week all the results that you expect. Okay, it's just keep doing it, and maybe pivot, reconfigure, talk with people that are able to give you true guidance, because something, not they're talking that goes nowhere. They want to pay all of the things that they believe that they've done. Talk with the people that are already there, that have been able to acquire and get all the knowledge necessary. So you learn from them. I'm not saying steal their ideas. Learn from proximity to your goal itself. So it'll inspire you when you're ready to quit. Because, hey, I don't know about you, Antonio, but sometimes I'm like, okay, this is that's all that I got, folks. Think the plug. But you need around it with the people that will help you see the vision when sometimes you are too blind to see it, or too tired, too exhausted to see it. So 100%. Doing it on your own, it's not doable. I'll tell you that. Also, finding the right people, it's not easy. I'll tell you that as well. But the more you put your message out there, and you do it with consistency, and you do it with clarity, and you do it with a vision of where you want to be, trust the Lord that the wrong people will fall off the wagon, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the quick part. That's the quick part,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this at this stage in my life, I realized, man, people are so important, because the people around you, they either add to you or they take from you. There's no one sitting on the fence. So we have to be very intentional about, getting around the right people and taking inventory often enough to kind of renew the people around us.
Yes.
So I totally resonate with what you're saying, but and I like to just bring it back to the beginning. The beginning is, this is the right time to set the right goals. If you set the wrong goals in the past, that does not matter. What matters is going forward. So set the right goal that is the right for you. make sure that it's big, make sure that it's exciting, make sure that it has a possibility of changing your life and the quality of your life and the quality of the life of those around you, people you care about. It could be your family, it could be your community, it could be your city, whatever it is. It could be your country, whatever it is. So that's number one. And number two, once you have that honed in and you have the targets that are going to help you get there, then you got to do the math. You lock it in, right? You commit to the target and then do the math. It's super important. And you don't need to be a genius mathematician to do this math. This is very simple math. Yeah. I saw someone do this math kind of on the fly, and he was asked, so, okay, your target is you're doing $1 million a year now. You want to go to 20. Great. What's the average commission or the average ticket item in your business? When somebody says, well, that depends, when someone starts that way, they don't know their numbers. Well, that depends. I have some people who pay me 20 grand, some people who pay me 200,000. That's not what I ask you. What is the average ticket? So you got to take all of them and do some simple math and say, I have this many people paying me every year. That generates this much revenue. Divide one over the other, and that's your average ticket. You got to have a number, not multiple numbers. Oh, okay. So it's 10 grand. Okay, 10 grand, good. So you need this many of those 10 grand items to hit your $20 million target. Okay, good. Are there enough of these people in your market? Yeah. Okay, good. So how do you reach that many? Then you get into the how, right? But you have a very specific target, and you have to do the simple math up front. And that may require that you pick up some skills along the way. Maybe you need to, hone in on your communication so you can speak clearly to your target market, so you can define exactly what your brand is, so you can market the right way, monetize the right way, etc. Those are skills that you pick up along the way, but that should not stop you. That's another mistake that a lot of us make, and I've made multiple times, is you try to get all the skills first before you do anything. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of money. And if you believe that time is money, you just wasted a lot of money. And build a team around you and get around the right people. So that's a big reason why we set out to do this $1 million business in 90 days. Number one is worthy. Number two, it can change our lives. Number three, it can help a lot of people to do this with us. And we're trying to attract the right people to this opportunity, attract the right people to this movement, because not everyone is ready. I think I shared this with you before. There's a big difference between I want to make $1 million and I need to make $1 million. It's very different perspective, very different. If you want to make it, you quit any moment. If you need to make it, you're not going to quit. Yes. You'll find a way. So we have an opportunity to look at what we're doing. It's 3 simple steps. Number one is you raise your hand and say, show me your information. We're going to take you to a web page that has a welcome video, 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. And then it tells you exactly what we need, what the next steps are. The next step is, hey, let's take a look at the vehicle. Remember, I told you it's important that you pick the right vehicle to go to your destination. Don't try to get to New York City on a kayak in the winter.
Yes.
I mean, you can, but it's not recommended.
Try to swim your way to New York.
So that's one. Let us show you the business model that we're using, the business vehicle that we're using to get this done. If you're aligned with that, you say, okay, that makes sense. And if it makes sense, we can make dollars. Great. We'll take you to the next step, which is let me show you the blueprint on how we're using that vehicle to go from zero to a $1 million business in 90 days, or to your next $1 million business. Okay. Yes. It could be that you're already making $10 million. Good. This is another way to add $1 million in 90 days. And if you're aligned with the blueprint and you say that makes sense, then the next step is just to launch you. And that's a conversation that you have with one of us to figure out the best way to launch you, to take the next and best step for you. 3 simple steps. So we're going to have that information. It's linked in the bio. In our bios, we have a link, and then with resources, and one of them is going to show you how to build $1 million in 90 days. Click on that, and that starts the process.
Thank you so much, Antonio. And today I know that I've been quiet, but you've left me thinking, man. You left me
I'm sorry.
thinking.
I was rattling
Yes,
off,
I
man.
know
I
that
was
I
talking like,
smell of
woo,
the burnt and like inside in here in this room. But but yes, you left me with a lot of thoughts to reflect upon, and I'll definitely circle back when I have a little bit more like, huh, I got this.
I know you got it, and that's my fault for not giving you the space to kind of go. I just
Yeah.
went off, man.
Yeah, I love it because sometimes I do the opposite, but I do it to you. Like you leave, okay, we'll circle back on that one. Thank you. Thank you, my
So,
friend, for your
any,
time and
any
your enlightenment.
no, not at all, not at all. So, anything you like to add? I know I should say it's not that we have been talking. I have been running my mouth for 20 minutes. So anything you like to add before we move on?
I would just like to add that, like I said before, don't do this alone. The goal is not that high. It's just a matter of trusting the math, trusting the process. We are here to guide you. You're not going to be on this on your own. I actually rely on Antonio a lot when sometimes I know, you know what, I see this possible partner. Perhaps I think you will be able to approach because I see that you have a lot of similarities, that you'll be able to connect in a better way. Boom, that happens. And maybe the opposite. So this is not something that you're going to have to do or execute on your own. So we're here to support you as well. And like Antonio said, just get those links. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Just if you want them, you will find them.
Yes, yes, yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, I won't take any more of your time. I know you got a busy day, busy afternoon, and nothing. Appreciate you coming out and plugging in for this. It's become a habit.
Yes, a good habit.
Yeah, it's become a habit. That's a good habit. You know, you do it with enough frequency that it becomes a habit. And that's what we've
Amen
been
to that.
talking about before, you know.
Amen to that.
All right.
Okay, my dear. See you when I see you.
Absolutely. See you soon.